How's it going, everybody? We know what to say.
Should we transform?
No. Starts off with Bob. That might have to go later. Okay, so I'm Chris Mizami. I've worked on the film, so I've been here my third time in the third panel. And I just want to thank you all, especially your general initiative. And like you came here first instead of here, because that's awesome. All right, well, we should probably get this ball rolling again.
Oh, cool. It was.
You sure?
Yeah, it's nice.
It's not working. Guys, this button's not working. What the? All right, guys, welcome to my typography. I worked in a number of feature films and a number of companies. These are some of the companies that I worked for. UltramanYamatoGrimLockZero, who've done the Transformers movies, obviously. Wet Digital, where I worked on the Hobbit films, and Man of Steel, Avengers. DNA, where I worked on like Deadpool 2, etc. These are a lot of major places that I worked at. And some of the things that I worked on are like textured the Death Star for Rogue One. And I textured the Queen. And then I also got to do some concept designs on Slimer and also did Slimer. I got to help design Cable for the Deadpool 2 movie.
Nice.
And I was fortunate enough to work on Maverick, Top Gun Maverick, where I was the asset supervisor. So I oversaw all of the digital planes and all the planes that Tom Cruise said didn't exist. They're all 2G. They're all complicated. So anyway, I worked on that movie as well as did some Halo 2 supervision. I did a VFX supervision on that. And also worked on some Marvel movies like, I don't know, like Ghost character. And then, as you guys probably know, I worked on Hot Rod. I painted this in like 6 months as Industrial Light and Magic. And then Megatron, of course, this is the only real good Megatron I have made. But this is my favorite design, and like I can go through a little bit of the stuff that like a little later on about like how this kind of stuff gets made. As you know, I did Hot Rod as well, and Hot Rod World War II edition. And then there's another robot I worked on in this movie that is very little known. Supposedly he's in the movie somewhere, but like they were just like, hey, can you do this too? I'm like, is this in the movie? I'm like, yeah. Is it? No. So yeah, so anyway, you guys are probably all here because I worked on, last night I worked on Age of Extinction and Dark of the Moon. And on top of that, I had also worked on all of these other films. Wow. Not all of them are good. Not all of them can be heroes.
PTSD.
Okay, so how did I get into VFX? So I was just like I was like a little kid on a farm, and that was my chicken, ultra chickenness. And I grew up on a farm, and there was like nothing to do, so I would learn how to draw. And I just like I drew everything, and I just got really good at drawing. And then also around 1984, I got my first Transformer and fell in love. This is like Ring Charger, still have them, never sell them, never get them. And then put those two together, I kept going. I worked at YTV. I probably shaped some of your brains. If you've ever seen any of this stuff, like the grunty. That was definitely me. So I worked on some of these animal animation stuff, and this stuff got me into Sheridan, where I worked on like computer animation. And so I keep drawing. This is something that I'm drawing for my story, Strange Octopus. And then I also drew this like Darth Jar Jar. And I know there's a Lego version now, but I drew it first. Sorry, Darth Jar Jar. But like mine is like Grizzly. And I think I mentioned this last year, but there's a lot of new faces here. I actually got to go to John Knowles' office when I was working on Rogue One and pitched this idea of an evil Jar Jar. And he looked at the picture and I was like, yeah, Jar Jar got blown up. And they put his head in the jar. And he did this, and he's got lightsabers that comes in his eyes, and he fights him telekinetically. And he just was like, why are you doing this? So, with my art skills, I also got to work on Alice with Looking Glass as a concept artist. So, I don't know if has anybody seen that movie, Alice with Looking Glass? All two. So I designed like some of the pieces in the movie. The characters have. This is cool because they made a Funko Pop of this guy, and it's like, Eric, I did that. So I designed that guy's metal parts, just start with pencil and then worked its way up. Did some concepts for Ghostbusters. The movie looked way cooler like, when we were working on it, and then it got like, really bad. For I don't know what reason, it just got really garish and horrible. We're like, oh. So anyway, we had this really cool idea of like New York turning into the 1960s New York, and like in a really cool way, and they didn't go with it. But that was a concept for it. And then, I did concepts for Tim Burton for The Thing for Wednesday. Not much. So, you guys probably want to know how do they make Transformers. I know I've seen a couple faces here from last time. Some new people, so I wanted to sort of go through what it kind of goes through to make something like this of Megatron. Megatron was 1 year of my life just texturing it. So that's like everything that you see that's like metal, oil, all this stuff was like a year in the making. I'm a huge fan of Megatron, so I got to choose a lot of what he looked like, and I went with G1 influences all the way. So that's why he has the red ribs, because that wasn't the concept of like, what are you doing? I said like, no, you do. And I made his gloves black, I made his shoes black, I made his shirt black, so he was a lot of fun to paint. So you get a concept artist to, this is one from Josh Jitsi. Does the concept, and this is basically all you get. So you've got to kind of work from there. And then the same thing with this with the hot rod, this is kind of what we get. It's not really, there's like major areas that are similar, but it really doesn't decide what the smaller pieces look like. So you kind of have to get a bit of carte blanche. This is like what the model of Megatron looks like. This is modeled by Massimiliano at ILM. He's great. Trust me, he's working on a lot of stuff you've seen. And anyway, this is like kind of what a model looks like, and this is like a wireframe going over top of it to show you, how detailed these models can get. This head took me a month to paint. Like just the first pass is like unwrapping all those little pieces. And there's a shot of his body. His back. You can work it out. Oh, and then this is really cool. Inside the Transformers, they're like when they move around, they have like little hollow parts. We have like a little skeleton that you put inside the Transformers so that whenever you see like plates going up, it has like something under there that's like, looks like technological stuff. So that's like what it looks like what's inside Megatron. I did a sculpt for Ghostbusters. Okay. This is what he was supposed to look like in the 2016 movie. He did not look like this, did he? It was supposed to be really detailed and like really realistic, and they took my sculpt and then gave it a new, they said, like, oh, let's make them cuter and rounder and stuff. And they said, like, put your sculpt on this new cuter rounder thing, and it doesn't work. So, but like, that's what he was supposed to look like. And so I take like this kind of thing too. This final, like this tiny pass here of all the little details will feed into the texture maps, and it will also be used to give concept artists an idea of like what textures might look like. So texturing, when you have, the best way I can explain texturing to you is, let's say you have like a box. The shape that is like any piece of Megatron's face, a shoulder pad, anything. And then in the simplest form, we have a cube, but some of these shapes are really, really different and like, you know, weird shape. And what happens is we take these things and we unfold them and lay them all flat, and that's how you paint them. And that's the way it receives all the textures and knows where to go. And you have to make sure that all of these squares and cubes inside all these little squares, that they are not stretched, because then your texture will also stretch. So this is a UDIM, and this is where all those flat pieces get laid down into. And this is something that would be more of like what Megatron's head would look like times 50. So like Megatron had like 670 of these square UDIMs for his whole body. And so like, and then I got to paint all that. And so, and not only do I have to paint it, but there's base color, there's specular, there's ambient, and they're all different. And there's 18 of these for Transformer or more. So Megatron had around 18 different types of maps, like oil map, you know, steel, this and that. And then the Transformer gets rigged. I think this is like a fan-made rig. This is like Island, we would never see what their rig was like because it's proprietary. But this is actually from the thing on the side here. That's actually what it looks like when it's rigged, and the animators can move all these pieces and keep some of the parts rigid, and some of the other parts like moving around. So, and you have to figure out that they don't crash into each other, and like it's a really, like really big ordeal to sort of like get these to look nice. Lighting, after it's all animated and rigged and given to the animators would then give us the lighters. The lighters have to sample the plate that it's shot on to get the colors. And then with those colors and the lights, they are made digitally in the computer to be the exact same. So that when, you know, this is like what it looks like with the animator, and then we start to put a lighting pass, and then when it's finally composited at the end, it will look it's realistic. And these movies have like some of the best lighting in the world. So this is like what, and then this is probably like a nice breakdown of like a whole shot being put together. And this is where where all of the people put all their pieces together, and then it would be composited at the end. And the compositor's job is to take all the renders, all the layers, put it together into the final image. Cool. So, if you've ever been to any of my shows before, I always tell stories as, I'm really sorry guys, like all of my Michael Bay stories are like not presentable. So this is the one that I can present, the two of them. So Michael Bay, and there's a lot of new faces here, so that's fine. So Michael Bay, I painted this for Michael Bay. I had an idea. I wanted Megatron to look like regal, like Megatron. I wanted him to look like a suit of armor, and like a fancy one at that. So I pitched this idea of having this like relief etched on the side of his helmet, like, you know, almost like you see on a fancy spoon or a shield or something like that. And I came up with this different motif on the side, and he was like, "This is a great idea." Like, he talks just like that. "This is a great idea." And then on the other side is Megatron. This side is Megatron, but it doesn't really make sense because I didn't choose this. I chose another like motif on the side of his head. But then he said, "I've got the shield I made. Put that on it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, what is it?" And I was like, "Oh, it's it's like what version of Megatron is this? He's like, it's the one from 2007. So I'm like, so 2007 Megatron is gonna put himself on his helmet later on, right? And then the other side is Optimus Prime. So, guy pays the bill, so we let that go. And then, oh, another story that I also tell too is like, Michael Bay once like said some really awful stuff to me, like really bad, but not really bad. But. So, at the end of the show, we're almost like in the theaters. There's like a little bit of time left to make Hot Rod better. And Hot Rod's looking pretty good. I mean, I know his voice was not great, but I thought he looked pretty decent. I tried hard, and I tried to get fire on him. And then, you know, we were doing a good job of it, and he goes, and Dwayne just comes in, and he's like, cranky. He's just like, you know, Hot Rod. You know what Hot Rod looks like? You know those kids on the internet that are trying to do the stuff that you guys do? They're doing a job of it. That's what Hot Rod looks like. And you're like, so, In-N-Out Burger. Michael Bay loves In-N-Out Burger. Okay, so Michael Bay comes in, and when Michael Bay comes into Industrial Light and Magic, he's there 4 or 5 days a week. He was there all the time. And so every time he came, they would have a lunch set up for him, but they had no idea. They didn't want to phone ahead and say, like, Michael, what do you want to eat today? Because like, he's Michael Bay, and he's like, you just have a bunch of stuff out. So they put a bunch of, they put In-N-Out Burger and sushi and pasta and salad, and they had a whole bunch of different things for him to eat. And so he's like, In-N-Out Burger. He eats his In-N-Out Burger. Like, he loves In-N-Out Burgers. And like, and then he's done. And then he goes like, can I have another one of those? Like, I'm sorry, Mr. Day, that we only have one In-N-Out Burger, but we have all these other things. He's like, one burger? Who only eats one burger? And so the next time they came in after that, they had 6 In-N-Out Burgers every single day he came in. And so like, our coordinator, when he would say, he wouldn't eat 6 burgers. He might eat 2. I don't think he ever did, but he would like leave the building, and then we would get a call from the coordination office and say like, Michael Bay is left the building. They would like run down and gobble up those cold In-N-Out Burgers that he didn't eat. But we loved it. We loved it. But Michael Bay loves hamburgers.
Yes.
No. One burger. That's it. I clip that audio. Should we go back? No, we're in. That was the audio. All right, let's talk about this, okay? Since we just saw some AI, you're probably thinking, what's with all the AI? That's the future of VFX and content creation, so we need to talk a little bit about that, because like, as much as we wanted to go away, as much as we were annoyed by it, but we have to talk about it. So, if you guys have been to my panel before, you remember that I just did a design of Christopher Walken as Sergeant Cup, and Jack Black as Bumblebee. And so I had this idea of like, if I was doing a Transformers movie, I would want the car and the driver to be scanned at the same time, right? So, so Christopher Walken's driving the truck, whoa, and he gets scanned at the same time as the robot. So when the Transformer transforms, he also knows to look like Christopher Walken and like sound like him. So I thought that was kind of a neat idea, and that way it would also be more fun to like have like celebrity actors voice these things. So now that I've drawn these and we have AI tools, and this is something that you guys can all learn to do, because this is kind of the future, is very, very short amount of time, I was able to take these with AI tools and come up with something that's a little bit more realistic. It might not be perfect, but it gives you a jumping off point. This isn't completely AI. Like I did use some AI, and then I did Photoshop some of this stuff to help it along. So this is kind of like a proof of concept now. Like what I would do in the movie business is, this is a lot faster to get an idea across to somebody, instead of like, oh, just give me like 4 weeks to draw you something. Like now you can just come up with something really quickly and get something on the ground. So does this have audio?
Let's see.
Did you go there? Why? You know we shouldn't go in there under any circumstances. And if places can decide to go in there, then they know our home base is. We should have that sucks. It's a bit laggy, but the point of this is I did this in like 4 hours. So, yeah, I mean, on the one side, I'm like, hey, I worked on movies, and then I'm like, oh, I don't work on movies anymore because it's so easy. But it's good because if you still have the skills that you should have, you should go to school and learn how to do things properly. These are just tools that are going to make things a lot faster for you. And who knows what you can do with this? Like in 4 hours, I was able to make something like that, and the tool is just going to get faster and better. And what that's doing is it's putting tools into the hands of creative minds that don't necessarily have the skills to do that. So that's really cool. So I also did this Laserbeak. I had an idea that Laserbeak would look more like a real, like crow, because that makes more sense, right? If you were Laserbeak, if you were in a movie, no, you're not. You're all in a movie. But if you were in real life and you saw Laserbeak, like the giant tape cassette, it's not really a robot in disguise. It's like, oh, what is that? So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if it was more like this? And so now we can like animate these things to give a visual effects supervisor an idea of like how that might move, how the shapes are formed, etc. And then I took this to use it as like in the same way that I would look online for images to get my idea across, to go further with a Laserbeak that would be in a feature film. So these are all tools that are in our hands right now. So this is like one of the, okay, so if you've ever seen, has anybody seen Wednesday?
Yep.
A couple people? So there's a character named Thing, and I did a whole bunch of different versions that I thought one would be cool to have like little stick and poke tattoos. Or, as AI likes to call it, stick and poke tattoos and rings. Or ringe. But now, I could have shown this to Tim Burton and just have him like moving around. This is my hand. And it's crazy because like we all knew that AI couldn't do hands for a while, right? Like that was a bad thing. This is an AI hand for all intents and purposes. Like the musculature, everything is like even the reflection is moving in the same way. It's just like crazy good. And this is like a proof of concept that I can come up with in just a few short moments for somebody. It can also be used for evil. So we might be faced with a whole bunch of like alternate endings of films. So what's my next project now? I am working on my own feature film. It's already got one big name attached, and I already have a composer who's working on Scorsese films. My friend who's the art director at Industrial Light and Magic is doing some work for it, some art direction, and you're all the first guys to see it outside of mine and his. So that's happening right now. So the movie is called, that guy, no. So the movie's called Dead Pixels. Dead Pixels is a passion project of mine. So this is Bo. You have seen a lot of Bo's work. The Matrix movies, and worked on all kinds of stuff. Bo passed away last year, just a little while ago. And when he died, it sort of like hit me really hard because the visual effects industry can be kind of tough sometimes. And so when Bo passed on, I was mad. I was like, I should have I should write a book about the VFX industry, yada yada yada. I said nobody would read it. But what I can do is make a comedy horror about this. So Bo was the inspiration for my feature film, Dead Pixels. Would you guys like to know what it's about? Yes. You would? Okay. It's based in Toronto. So Dead Pixels is about a visual effects company in Toronto that is being forced to work through a zombie pandemic. And as all the artists in the movie start to die, the visual effects in the movie get worse because ultimately they're working on their own film. So it's going to start off ILM quality, and we're going right to skibbity toilet.
Oh my God.
So this is Tyler Scarlett's very first. This is like industrial, like magic art direction art. So this is a shot of one of the characters, Bob. He's the animation supervisor. He's being attacked by a mocap. So there's going to be mocap zombies in the movie, and there's going to be zombies that should be zombies but are actually mocap actors because they can't afford the visual effects anymore, etc. It's going to get quite confusing. But the mocap team attacks Bob and kills him, and as soon as they do, all the animation in the movie from there on sucks. So this is the scene where Bob gets it, and then we have another scene where Lena checks the server room. The server room goes through a few changes. The bad guy in the movie is AI. So I won't give away too much, but like the bad guy is AI, but we're not going to use any AI in the actual film. So all of the AI footage, we're going to steal jobs from AI by doing them live in camera. We're going to add fingers. The AI characters, we're going to hire 16 different actors for all of the scenes that look similar. They're not quite the same guy. And then, so these are the first two images in the film, and now we have, this is like the part of the pitch package, so like, just to give you the feeling of the film. This is AI, all this stuff will be, just to give you an idea of like, what the feeling of the film is gonna be. You have to have this stuff if you want to get it funded. That's my such a jerk. And so they just live life, there's zombies all over the place, and they're just sort of like used to it. There we go. Thank you guys. So I think it's question time, so if you want to come up and.
Turn the mic on.
All right, friends, if you have a question for Christopher, please form an orderly line here and ask a question. You can go first.
Hi, hello. My name is Jason. I'm from Queens, New York, and I'm studying to be working in film as a producer. And I don't know if I should be asking Transformers-related questions or film-related questions.
What are they? We're all Transformers.
So, I guess like a Transformers question is, since you had so much influence in the design work of Megatron from the last night, do you have an explanation on how Galvatron became Megatron again?
No. There's a lot to unpack there. I will say this. I was the on Megatron, and I'm like, oh, that's Stevie, that's Dark Energon. He goes, Energon's, it's like Unicron's blood, and then they're like, no, let's just make it paint. So they also, these are the same people that put Shockwave's head onto another body, like a two-headed guy, and was like, you can't do that, it's like putting Stephen Fury's head on something. So these people don't really know much about what the Transformers myth is. So that worked out for me because I got free reign to do whatever I wanted. So I got to put all the G1 characters in, and I was so passionate about it. They were just yeah, just go with it. So
Awesome. And I guess for the film question is, when composing a scene that has characters with VFX in it, is it more practical for the VFX supervisor and the producer to make a on-location scene and, add the characters to it, or make a CGI build of the room and then have those characters in it?
If you're kind of asking if the virtual production side of it, there's virtual productions where you have the volume, where they'll show the Mandalorian films in a volume where there's all kinds of little screens that cast natural light on the characters and reflections, etc. So there you kind of need everything to be ready to go, or at least very close. But when you're just shooting company stock kind of thing with lots of green screens and stand-ins, usually a Transformers have a stand-in where it's just a big pull to the head. So it's just these giant, I guess it's really just a ping pong paddle, but really taller. And they just stand in there, and that gives the human actors the ability to look. Was that what you were?
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ashi, and
Hi.
I have a question. Just the weird question that might trigger off your PTSD. So, what is the first thing that you doing the Captain movie, and then what is the first thing that you started and the last thing, and then do you know the movie first, and then if you know, what happened after?
Cats.
Yeah.
So you came up to ask me about cats?
Yeah, I was feeling.
It's saying so is your girlfriend too?
Yeah, like that.
No, so Cats was weird because I got bait switched on that one. So I was the head of the department, so I didn't really work on that film specifically, but I ran 8 teams that did, so it was about 60 people. And when I got there, I was supposed to work on an Apple film called Finch. It was a cool robot. I will mention that again because when I got to Cats, there was 10 weeks left of the movie before the movie came out. It was it was almost all ready to go, and there was a lot of work to do. There was the first thing I did is that there's no way this movie's coming out before February. It's has to come out December 16th. I'm right, here you go, well, so they hired me to sort of get it through the pipe, right? So that's all I really did on that film was get it done, which I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have let them fail, but
It should be.
But I will say this too: the same people that made Cats, the next film we worked on was Finch, and Finch won an award for best CG model. So same team with proper conditions and that. And then that's not just that's everybody, including the clients and all this stuff like that. So
Okay.
it was. I hadn't seen the movie. I only got 10 minutes into it. So thanks. Same thing with Jack the Giant Slayer. I was my eyes.
Do you regret? Do you regret doing that movie?
Do I regret? No, I don't regret any movie because I had more fun and I had more friends on Cats than I have on Man of Steel. I just hated working on it. I hated so. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brayden. I have a question about art, actually.
Sure.
I've been experimenting with 3D modeling on Tinkercad. It's good for getting simple models out, but it's not great for detail. But Blender's still a bit of a wall for me. I was wondering if there was a mid sort of level program you might recommend, or?
The standard stuff you usually use is Maya.
Maya?
Then they also use Modo, but just the MIT graduates use Moto. It was like really big models, but but I would say Maya is still kind of like the Photoshop of modeling. It's kind of it's standard. It's got like really easy to use tools. I can go to any shop in the world and they'll have Maya and they'll have the basic tools that you can get away with. If you can get yourself a version of that, that would be really helpful. I haven't used the other ones myself. So, but Maya is probably the middle of the road. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Christoph. I really appreciate your job and you do amazing work, and thank you for your ethics review. My question is really related to Transformers. So, do you have any regret to design a character which you want to really create it later, or something like that?
100%.
Ah.
Not Transformers though. Yeah, so, yeah, but yeah, absolutely. Is that all your questions, like the full question?
I think this time, yeah.
Well, you can ask another question, but for sure, Ghostbusters. Like, I had so many plans for Slimer to have like these droopy arms, and you could see this through skin.
Do you have any other concept after the Dead Pixels? What other projects will you work on?
I've been working on my film for like 16 months, so it's going to take a lot longer. That is going to be the gateway to my real projects, which is I've got about a series of 9 movies that I want to make that are like alternate history, science fiction. The Green Drawing Ranger with the Strange Octopus, that's part of that world. So that's a massive project, and I realized I'm never going to get funding or anybody to look at that unless I have this. So this Dead Pixels is kind of a thing to get me on the map, and like working with some like big actors and stuff to sort of go like, hey, what else do you have? Get real that I've been working on since I was a teenager.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Christopher. Thank you once again for the presentation. It was really awesome to hear your story. My name is Jonathan. I'm currently a business student at Western. It's a completely different field, I guess. But I was curious, you mentioned a lot about like the advancement and innovation within the entertainment industry. If you were to completely start from scratch, and if you were born today, what type of steps and even any specific resources would you take in order to kind of break into the industry?
I was born today. I've been thinking about it for about 10 months, but anyway, so I would say if you're starting now, having right now, like none of us experience like how fast this is becoming the AI thing, and it has taken a lot of jobs. So like, I would say the way you kind of tell is that like people in big spots are kind of moving down to other spots. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who would never do TV, now a TV show. Like that's not just for actors, that's also for visual effects supervisors and like directors and that. We're all sort of like, because AI is, we're not making enough content. Like we're not making enough movies. Like you can see there's not enough movies. Like, we used to have like all kinds of movies every summer, and now there's less and less. So that is because everybody is waiting to see what these tools are going to do. Also, like a movie like, did anybody see the latest Alien film, Romulus? So there was an AI character in that. And he looked awful. Yeah, we all agree. But that movie made money, so that's it. So you can't get the producers to take, you can't take the money out of their hands anymore. So it's like, now that this is successful, the bar is lower, and like the tools will get better, and ultimately they want to make these things cheaper. So what's going to happen is what I'd say is learn how to work in a smaller team and try to remember how to work in a bigger team as well. Try to remember the legacy tools and like how things used to be done, and figure out ways of transition. Because we're in a period of transition. So, and it's like, it's not going away. And like, when oil painters were furious that the camera came out, you can't really say like, I'm never going to use a camera. Camera's going to go away because like, they never did. But there's still a oil painting, right? So traditional stuff, like I want to do Dead Pixels traditionally. I don't want to use any AI for the full film. And like, I think that's the whole heart of the project is like, it's the wild bunch of VFX movies. Like it's, I want to have like one last hurrah of it, just a pure VFX film, right? And celebrating it, and all of it's like good and bad. Right? So I would say keep learning new tools and keep remembering what the legacy tools were too.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Christopher. Good, how are you? Awesome, yeah, great presentation, super fun. I loved all the funny AI stuff you threw in it. I was like, oh my god, so funny. Yeah, I was curious about, with all the work you did on Transformers, all the beta films, like, I'm guessing because you had limitations onto the design, the actual bot designs, because you had to work with what you were given, and then you just went with it from there, right? But
Yeah.
if you had more free reign as far as like for the more fundamental bot design stuff, like would you choose like, because I know you're a G1 fan too.
There's a bunch of stuff about the guy. I think I know what you're asking.
Yeah, would you chosen to consider
Like for Hot Rod?
for Hot Rod or any other bots that you were on, like Megatron, like would you chosen totally different design choices from the get-go?
Yeah, I think a few characters are like iconic, like C-3PO, R2-D2, and you can't stray from too far. Shockwave is another one. Shockwave kind of works because he at least had the head, right? If he had a really different head, that whole design, like Shockwave, is pretty buff, right?
Right.
So, but I would say I would have done Hot Rod a lot differently. Like I tried to make him red, and I tried to like put fire on him, and I said like you really should get Judd Nelson to do the voice. And they're like, no, we got this like French accent gag, and I'm like, oh, is that gonna be good? It's like, oh, it's cute. So and then they kind of like listen a little bit, but ultimately Michael Bay wanted that car. He wanted, because he gets 2 of them. So he gets 2 of them, like Michael Bay gets to keep one. Right, so that's factoring into his choice of like, well, you know, he like Hot Rod needs to be black or orange, and like, so there's a lot of political stuff that does happen that like you need to like consider as well. So, but like, would I change him? Yeah, I would, like that's the thing is like my frustration with where I was at. Okay, if you do it like this, it would be great if you could do this, and like now like I have to make this decision as a vision test supervisor. I'm like, okay, so like on Halo, I have to change a lot of stuff. Like I tried to keep his helmet on, but they wouldn't let me. But stuff like that.
Well, part 2 of that question is like now moving forward, since you have a lot more, you have a lot more freedom when you do your own work. Would you ever want to? Are you considering in the future doing some kind of films involving more robot-esque characters that you would put in your
I would
own?
still love to
Yeah.
do my own Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you guys would like that, I will try.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever been- Cool. Thanks, Chris.
Oh, it's immense, jeez.
It comes to my questions, that's what I mean. I was gonna ask, how much creative control did you have over Hot Rod when you were making him? That kind of answered it.
Yeah.
Too much for my seer. I want to make him red versus black, so.
Yeah, so there was orange, like the orange bearings and stuff, and like, there's a lot of, so you get the concepts, and then outside of that, there's not a lot of detail, so like, where I put like Centenario, all the wiring, all that stuff, like there's, like, I don't know if you've ever seen a close-up like on the poster of Hot Rod, he's got like 7 strip knuckles
Yeah.
on his fingers, and that says speed and power, and that was like all like, I just,
Okay.
so like I put Kryptonian, and I know that a lot of stuff, like I think Megatron's got something on his back as well. There's little Easter eggs all over that.
They're there. You just gotta know what controls them before I got it.
Yeah, and like sometimes it doesn't end up in the shot. Like so like you can barely see the side of his helmet. There's like one scene I think when he's in the
Junkyard.
It's the junkyard, yeah.
Yeah.
Where you see it a little bit on the side, and it's like that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see we're gonna Halo, right?
Yes.
How much of a Halo fan are you? Do you know a lot about it?
I do know some. Yeah,
Okay.
I know enough. Like I don't know all of the canon, but like I know enough to like I research the hell out of it when I work on it.
Good.
So
Okay.
so like I'm a sort of a perfectionist when it comes to super detail. Like I worked on The Thing. Like The Thing is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. We did a prequel. It wasn't very good. It suffered from problems like with the new director, and it suffered with like, but I would even do like little tattoos of a Norwegian like 1950s army tattoo in the back of the guy that my neighbor's future that his shirt rips off and turned into a thing. And little details like that, I fully cover up myself. And like all the planes on Top Gun, they all have all of the rivets. And like my team nearly died and they hated me. I said, like, why are we doing this? I said, like, it will show. Like, trust me, it will work.
It did. It did work. The movie's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, there's 1,000 people working on it, so I worked really hard. So, but yeah, it's little. I think ultimately it's about caring for the thing that you're working on, and that's one thing that I did is like with Megatron. I got like in trouble like fighting for certain stuff to stay in the movie, and like with the G1 homage to his look, like absolutely, I always champion it, like because I care about it. And when you do care about it, they usually let you do it. It's like they want somebody to care about it, and that's especially at ILM. Everybody cares about everything deeply, and so like that's what the movies are supposed to do.
Especially, see creators and content, the producer or not, don't care what you make, just want to make money, but we're like, oh, we want to see this and all that. So
Yeah.
appreciate your work on that and everyone else too. Thank you.
Great to see you.
All right.
Hey, nice to see you.
Hey, nice to see you too, Christopher. I have a question about illustration. Do you think in today's day and age, illustration could still be used
Yes.
like by hand?
100%. In the same way, let me just, I wanted this really quickly. Do you know what a farrier is? Or what a guy who cleans horses' shoes? So anyway, the turn of the century, there was a lot of farriers, right? And then cars came out, and we got more and more cars, and there was less and less need for these horses to get their shoes cleaned. But we still, to this day, have a farrier. Maybe not as many, but like if you're really fast and you're really good at it, and you keep practicing and keep drawing, that will, and it's good. It's soul, right? That's one thing that AI will never be able to replace is human soul.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So, and like draw because you love drawing. Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
It's great to see you. Come by and say hi to the table and catch up.
Loved it.
Hi.
Hello. You mentioned projects like Strange Octopus and Dead Pixels. I was just wondering, where can we like follow on updates on those projects and stuff?
I'm really not good at like social media, that kind of stuff. Like I'm really good at my head down working and stuff. If you look up, okay, on my poster by my table, I've got a banner. On there is a QR code that links to my very 1990s website. It's really bad. ChatGPT helped me with this. It's a really bad website, but at least that's where you're going to find like where I'm doing stuff next. But Dead Pixels is still a little bit under the table, and absolutely Strange Octopus is like why. So.
All right, thank you. Last question. Out of all of the robots you worked on in the series, which would you say was your favorite to work on?
Power was so much fun for me. Best thing I've ever been able. It was just so much fun. Yeah. Thank you. And now.
Hello again. Thanks for the presentation, it was really awesome. Kind of a weird question, but I'm a huge Hobbit and Twilight fan.
Cool.
I would love to know kind of what it was like to work on both of those movies.
Hobbit was a lot of fun. Living in New Zealand was amazing. One day I was like at my desk working away in the Hobbit, and this guy sits down beside me. I look over, and it's like Sir Ian McKellen. Oh wow! So anyway, I got to work with him and like working on those films. We thought, like before the movies came out, we thought they were going to be this is Lord of the Rings, and then the movie came out, we're like, this isn't Lord of the Rings. But it was pretty good. Well, it was a lot of fun to work on it. I got to do a lot of works, which were super fun to paint, and Yeah, it's just like I love that realm as well. So that was a big thing. Twilight, I'm not a fan as much. I did help make Vampire Sparkle. So I did all the, like when Victoria, spoilers, but when Victoria gets her head taken off and like all the crystal stuff. And then we actually really worked on it. Like I said, the earlier question, I really wanted to make sure that I finished the detail. So the stuff that's inside the bone is like inside your bodies is like all petrified human tissue. So it's like there's a fat there, and it's all based on different crystals. So it was actually, and then they put this like emo like wash of the whole and you can't see any detail. But that was kind of fun to work on too. So
Awesome. Thank you. And you can always see dead pixels. That looks really cool.
awesome. Thank you so much.
No worries. Have a good one. So you have 4 minutes left. 4 minutes.
Hi.
Hello. I have another question related to your personal projects.
Sure.
Or kind of the future of it all. Do you think that with Hollywood studios moving more towards AI tools, less people, it probably wouldn't take you a year to work on Megatron with those tools anymore? Do you think that more artists will be moving to more of an indie space or getting together to do these projects on their own outside the studio system?
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this, the visual effects community, NBC is the largest visual effects company in the world, collapsed, it's gone. So I feel like the biggest companies are now collapsing, and now is the ones that are getting smaller. That's why I'm trying to develop my own platform as well. So it's more like a blockchain, kind of cross between a blockchain and like Kickstarter, where like there will be some gatekeeping in terms of like what projects get made, but we're going to try to get like everybody on the show paid for. So like if you're working on a movie in front of the crew, you get money for working on it. And so the better the movie does, the more everybody creative gets paid instead of just these Hollywood higher ups. So that's the hope.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last question. Hi.
It's like, it's been rumored that Michael Bay is directing a new Transformers movie. Are you working on it?
I'm not working on it. I did hear that too. I actually do have Michael Bay on Instagram, and I did write him to see if he would say hello today, and he left me my record. So that's why I did that hamburger joke on him.
Yeah, thank you.
Would you work with him?
I worked with Michael Bay 4 times.
But would you again?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think he's great. He's hard. He drives a hard ship, but he makes good movies. I mean, yeah. Not Dr. Shivago, but they're fun. They're good fun movies. Like, we all love Transformers movie, right? Like that came out of your article. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
All right, big everyone, thank you. All right, friends, we got about a 5-minute break, and we're going to be coming back with some voice actors from different Transformers iterations, like Evan Michael Lee from Transformers 1, Ozzy Nakase from Earthspark, and Tanya Miko from Transformers 5. I'm going to make sure I pronounce your names right. So we're going to 5-minute break. We're going to start that at the top of the hour. We'll see you then, friends. Transformer roll.
In the dealer room, they have when the booths are selling the seats at the front available? Are these seats available as well?
Yeah, nothing's reserved.
Okay.
No, like down here at the end of this row.
If someone dropped a small piece, there's a little orange piece of something.
Looks like it's in a Creo. It looks like a Megatron cannon in orange.
I think it was the person sitting next to me. I don't know where they were. It had like sound waves off.
Okay, if you lose something in the panel room, We often hold it for a tiny bit, but eventually it gets brought over for registration. I can use a mic. If you end up losing something in the panel room, we normally keep it for a short period of time, but eventually everything lost and found from the convention will bring over to the registration table. So if you're losing something and you realize like an hour later, check the bus, and then go check it.
And if it's really nice, we keep it. No, I'm just kidding.
I did get that scene from last night. I'm sure you can find all that type of stuff online. Yep. It was absolute hell. I want to know how much they get in the car. Like, tell me he has like a Camaro or a Mustang. Yeah. Are you surprised? It might not be every car, it might be a certain brand. Let's be honest. Like it's not maybe the closest. Other than the airplane. I'm gonna tell you the airplane more Like, I was thinking when he was done, we were both thinking I do. And I was like, oh, yeah. This is Jazz from one. Oh, it's 19. Yes.
Uncle! Hey again! I saw you at breakfast. Stop me.
Never. Still be
Oh, sorry, Fancy.
this, and then when you figure out which chat.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't want to step on anything important.
All right, how's everyone doing? A couple hours in the show, probably bought a couple toys, feeling pretty good. And now we've got an amazing voice actors panel. So today at TFCon, we are joined by Z Infante, voice of Nightshade in Transformers Earthstar. We have Evan Michael Lee, the voice of Jazz in Transformers 1. And we have Tanya Gunari, voice of Nico in Transformers. Now this is a Q&A panel, which means the content you hear depends on the questions that we as fans ask. So I'm going to get started with our kind of starter question, but once I'm done, if you have a question for our friends, I want you to line up the mic to ask your question. So to get us started, friends, I would like to ask you all, how did you get started in your career? And then what happenstance brought you to work on your Transformers project?
Really don't, I don't understand not me. Like the awkward silence has to be there. Sure. Okay, I'll jump in. Dramatic. Patience, not Irish.
So I, again, it's a beautiful day, my current second day, it's nice to meet you all, I can't wait to continue to chat over the weekend. I started acting when I was, well, at the womb is what my mother said. But professionally, I started when I was 10. I'm based out of New Jersey, right outside New York City, and so I started auditioning at 10. I was doing voiceovers and commercials, and then I booked the film School of Rock with Jack Black. And I played Gordon, the computer, the roadie. It's like living my best married life on and off screen. And then just pursued it for a long time. Went to college for drama, and then as an adult, I've been doing a lot of film and TV theater, and that brought me to it was right before the lockdown, actually, when I got the breakdown for Transformers. It was called Hometown Heroes. I didn't know it was a Transformers show. Okay. It was called Hometown Heroes, and my character, Nightshade, was called McCoy at the time. And I remember, it's one of those situations, you know, when you audition, and then you get the producer session 6 months later, and then you get the offer 6 months later. That's one of those circumstances. I was like, exactly. Yeah. And the day it came in, it said Transformers offer, and I was like, and just because I didn't realize I was going to be able to be a part of an incredible family franchise, and like, to tell a story as important as the Nightshade is like, it's just, I wish that 10-year-old me that started acting in School Rock had Nightshade. You know, and I'm so grateful that we get to bring it, and that Earthspark gets to bring that world to the Transformers world.
Nice. So I started acting probably in college. That's when I first started. I wasn't like a kid actor or anything like that. I was just doing theater. And then after college, I went to Chicago, just doing theater, like just plays and whatnot. And then I moved to LA and then like, you know, pursuing on camera and whatnot. But you know, it can be hot and cold at the time. And then there was this day I came by and I saw that the WWE was doing an adult cartoon show. And I've been a huge wrestling fan my whole life, exactly. Whole life, I've been a huge wrestling fan. I didn't have a demo, I didn't have a class, I've never taken a voiceover class, I didn't have an agent, but I had an acting manager. And I was like, you think you can give me an audition for this? I think I'd be really good. Long story short, I ended up getting the part of Mark Henry on Camp WWE. It was with Seth Green from Robot Chicken and Family Guy. He was my first director for voiceover. So I'm like, yo, it is only a matter of time before they realize you don't know what you're doing. I did like voiceover lessons and whatnot, and I wasn't really doing anything with it for a while. But then I started going to E3. You guys remember E3? R.I.P. But I was seeing all these game trailers, and I was like, why are you not in this? Like, you should be in these. Like, you should be in this. Like, so that's what like really kind of got the gears from me, like getting back into voiceover. So I'm like taking classes, and then I'm like, this is gonna be my year, and then 2020. Yeah, but that was actually the best thing that happened to me because I built a booth in my own home. I got a microphone, I got my dream agent, and then I booked a commercial, I booked Guilty for Strive, I booked Spider-Man 2, actually like all kind of in the same year. I was like, wow, I've been really, why was I like waiting so long to do this? And then as we fast forward to the Transformer thing, I was hired for Transformers 1 just to do a little filler-in scratch audio for Bumblebee, and then there was some time left over, and then there was like, can you do like some Megatrons? I was like, yeah, sure. I did a couple, and they're like, oh, please. They put it on mute, and like, it's like all the suits talking and whatnot, and I was like standing there and like, do you do like Megatron for this movie? Like, yeah, sure, whatever you need. And then I'm doing Tryon, and I'm doing like some guards, and then jazz, and like just various other characters. And I'm not thinking much of it, but then they keep bringing me back, and I'm like, but like, maybe they'll call me up and be like, go on your recruiting back or whatever. So I think I was like the last person cast in this movie because it was like August, and I just got done doing an Instagram signing, and my agent called me, and I'm in my kitchen, and he's like, so they have one more role, but they don't need scratch on it. They want you to be Jazz in Transformers 1. I have like a burrito in my hand, he's like, yeah, I'll be there Monday. You know what I mean? The time froze for like a good, solid 30 seconds. I was like, oh, this is actually happening. And even prior to that, they had no idea at the time. I worked at Universal doing the Optimus Prime Megatron live show, which they had no idea I did that. It's like me and 11 other guys, but they were like, asking me, did you know? I'm like, dude, this across the street. They're like, you know what? So like, they're asking me how it works, and I kind of like smoked weed a little bit. But then, yeah, like once I was in Transformers, it's, that's how I showed up. Yeah.
Well, first of all, well,
But because I didn't speak English, I got to know it like from the customer service to the cook to the washer, all the way to the toilet cleaner. But I was like super excited because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, this is like an amazing country and I love it. So because I was so excited, somebody said, hey, if you're excited cleaning bathrooms, why don't you do open call for a Disneyland commercial? Because they're looking for excited girls. I was like, oh, I'm excited. And I was like, what's an audition? And they said, well, it pays $500. And I was like, stop, let me go right now. So I went on my first audition on a Disneyland commercial, and all they asked me to do, and at the time I didn't speak English, is just sit down in a chair like this and go, whoa! And I loved it, guys. On the Disney roller coaster, they picked me up in a limo, we went to Disneyland, no lines, I was like the only one doing roller coasters. And I said to myself, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do in my life, you know, to be an actor. Anyway, fast forward to a couple of years later, I was being pretty cocky. I was like, hey, you know, $500. Turns out I couldn't book anything because I couldn't read English. And every audition, I got signed. I was like, I don't know how to say these things. So then I started studying English and taking a bazillion acting classes, voice classes, and all that. And then I became an actor on camera. And then I got an opportunity to go audition for Transformers. It's actually my very first voiceover job. And it really changed my life. Because guys, I hang out with Peter and Frank and Starscream, Knockout, and everyone for 3 whole years, every Wednesday from 2 to 6 p.m.
All right, friends, if you have your questions, feel free to line up.
Verse 1. Not to be serious, but with the recent passing of James Earl Jones, I found out that he signed over his voice and to Disney for future utilization for the voice of Darth Vader. And it made me think about AI and the future of AI in the voiceover industry. Can you speak on your thoughts about how AI will change the industry, voiceover industry going forward? And if someone was interested in breaking into voiceover today, would it be worthwhile considering some of the advancements that AI has done within this particular space?
I'm going to start with that. I have no answer for the AI part, so they will answer. But if you're thinking about getting into voiceover, I think it's absolutely worth it. Because it's so fun, it gives you so much freedom and creativity and the opportunity to be in an ensemble with other creative people. It will totally change your life. I mean, guys, I rewatched Transformers Prime, all of them, this year. For the 5th time.
I hope I'm right. I think when it comes to the subject of AI, I don't think it's going to replace acting and voiceover. Only because of the sense of like, imagine if AI just created, an entire show or, a Transformer movie or a TV show. There would be no need for any of this. There would be no one to talk to, the creative process would just be hollow and empty and no one would buy it. I think when it comes down to it, I think it comes down to the consumer. If the consumer doesn't buy it, then I don't think companies are going to invest in it. And right now, it just seems a little, distant. And so everyone seems kind of resistant. So, I'm not that worried about it. But again, I hope I'm right. And I echo that sentiment. If you want to get into voiceover, I think now more than ever, it's a great time to get involved.
Word, yeah. Does anyone ever work in retail? Yeah. have in these spaces and the identifying that we get to have with the actor's voice in those characters. And I feel like AI will never be able to beat that. Especially with us knowing and us having that knowledge and autonomy in our relationships with these franchises. It's interesting that I look at like the Actors Union, for example, and the work that actors are doing to make it safer for voice actors, and therefore I think it is indeed a time to bust into voiceover, to really get involved, to get yourself in the seat and in the booth so that you can bring your perspective to an expanding industry, especially in a time where I feel like we need that many more different voices represented. There's a breadth to it that's really special. And yeah, I've been voice acting since I was, like I said, I was a big crying at and it's just fun to recognize that like there are so many opportunities, whether you do it professionally or not. There are so many ways to be creative, and the world needs more of that.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Cecil. I have a question for Tanya. So if there was, like in the concept of a shattered glass evil universe, I was wondering which of the Decepticons would Nico get along with the best and have like as a human companion?
Starscream. Although Megatron gave Nico a kiss February 2025. I don't know if you know. Did you guys see that? Yes, Megatron kissed Nico. You guys didn't know this? It's on Instagram Reel.
That's gonna go viral after this town, but I got it.
I just wanted to say that I like the year because Nico and Starscream are my two favorite characters in all time, so.
Thank you so much.
Victory.
All right, I got a question for Evan and a test for Tanya. It's a good one, don't worry. So Evan, remind me, did you also voice Jazz in the Wolf of Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron video games, or no?
No.
Okay. I thought someone said you did, so I want to double check. Because Jazz as a character is really cool and I hope I say this correctly, correct me if I say it wrong, but I love how Jazz is a representation of dark skinned people. I won't be offensive, I'm constantly trying to be like, That's great.
That's great. Give me a microphone.
So,
messed up.
To this day, you guys are voicing Jazz, and it's so cool to see that attitude and character representation come out. And even with your short time on Transformers 1, I wish you had more screen time with Jazz, because he was cool, and I like how he was in that moment tracking the rocks and all that. It was really sweet. And I hope to see more of it in the future film. And you're there to voice him when that time comes.
Listen, I think I told a few people this earlier, because I didn't see the final iteration of the film till the premiere. So, like, I saw most of it up until, like, the last, 20, 30 minutes of it. So I'm, like, sitting there in the movie theater, and I'm like, they're not gonna kill me twice. Look at her, I'm like, they're not gonna kill me twice. Arms folded, attitude, yeah. I walk out. I'm straight up lady. So, I'm glad I lived. You're wrong! No, what's this exam?
So, I'm going to start a quote. I need you to finish it. I want you to finish it right. Okay? Even the strongest armor can protect the weakest of creatures.
It protected you, didn't it?
Yeah! So, with that, Tanya, I just gotta say, we were talking about the golf outside, and it's one thing for us fans to see awesome moments in shows being done with these characters who are dying or like whatever, some cool automatic moment makes us think about a great moment. I think all of us can say we're jealous because we started in this place at that moment. It was one of the best. I have a friend, just a friend, who was the biggest Star Wars fan ever. So that was just the first time together. His jaw dropped, and we started laughing our pants off when she like grabbed him and then I quote, it's like, yes, Nico, yes.
And you know, Steve Bloom.
Yeah.
Here in the, so the way we set it up is that the humans are on this side, and then the Autobots are on this side, and then the Decepticons are here in the voiceover booth.
Yeah.
And Starscream, Steve is right in front of me. So when we did the scene, because you know he's also an on-camera actor, we did it like that. He was like this to me, and I was like, it's a test of you, Dad. And I was like, you know, like that, flip it over.
Yes.
And I was like, big look, eyes, some heart shot.
So thank you for taking that moment. So awesome episode. And I gotta say this personally, Nico has the Ahsoka effect, in my opinion, where she starts off annoying, but the writers let me finish. She starts off a little annoying, but as the show progresses, her character develops, and she is one of the best human characters in all Transformers, because who else can say they wore Transformers armor and beat the crap out of Decepticons left, right, and center in the show? It was so cool to see her do that. And all three of them as a whole, because you things the show that are so good, it's like, thank you, writers, and thank you for voicing her.
Actually, the writer told me, one of the writers, and said, okay, so you may come off annoying in the beginning, but worry not, you'll redeem yourself in season 3. I'm like, season 3?
Season 2, we started really changing.
But really, you always like get people in trouble. She's like,
It also reminds me, opposite effect, hard show episode, where her emotion was real jack. Peak. Anyways, it took too much time, sorry, but you guys are great. Thank you. Thank you.
Makes me feel short. No. I'm Sophie, so nice to meet you guys. First, I gotta give a shout out to Tanya, because she was so kind and sweet to my friend, housemate Jenna. Jenna told me like over half the convention was just getting to see you. So for me, like being able to see you, take your time with her, be so sweet, like all about the fans and all about the love of Transformers, that's what it's about, right? No? So I did have a question for you specifically, and a question for Evan and the rest of the panel. One, I'm a huge comedy fan. What was it like being in It's Always Sunny, in such a legendary episode, and seeing people's reaction to it?
It's one of the best live action, because when I got the part, I actually told them it's a mistake because they're looking for a kid, you know. And then the agent's like, no, it's not a mistake, you have to do it. And I'm like, okay, fine, it's a mistake, man. But then I went to the set, and I was so glad I did it, because everyone was so nice. Charlie and Danny DeVito was amazing. Like at one point, they have to throw or hose cold water to Danny DeVito, and so they say, well, we're just gonna use like a fake, you know, like a T-shirt. And he said, no, I'm gonna do it. We did it like 10 times until he got soaking wet, and we can't really see him because he was like behind me, and I felt really bad the entire time, but it was so professionally done. It's really amazing. Thank you guys.
Awesome. That episode definitely brought a lot of joy to me. So I was relating kind of to Evan's story, just for background, different creative field. I used to intern at a recording studio, and I've been working with bands on my own, setting up my own home studio. So I'm wondering from your careers looking back in a different creative industry, what kind of lessons, what things you have done differently, what so much did you have to pull yourself up?
I don't know what I would have done differently, but what I often tell people is that I think life has a way of breadcrumbing all of us in the direction we should go. And I think oftentimes we sometimes ignore it, but I would tell anyone, if life gives you a little clue as to you should go this direction, even though you might feel like you should go this way, follow the breadcrumbs.
I would say, thank you. Someone said to me recently, talking about acceptance, right? And accepting something does not mean that it's right or that it's wrong, it's just accepting reality. And so much of the choices that I've made in my career have been, whether, you know, they went the way that I wanted them to or not, I've had to accept them, right? And that acceptance is informed the next choice, right? And it's allowed so much growth and learning. And I don't know if I would have done anything differently, because that would cause me deep anxiety. But I do think that moving forward, I want to remain optimistic and in a place of acceptance. But then when I don't want to accept something, recognize what I can do to change it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, I appreciate that.
Hello, very nice to meet you. I just want to take a moment and say, as someone who is both in the queer community and as a person of color, seeing you folks here and being a part of this franchise means so much to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to a lot of
Make us cry!
Well, thank you so much for taking time to come and see us. So my question is, what does it feel like? What does it feel like now that you are a part of the new generation of introducing younger fans into this franchise?
Oh gosh, yes, dude, Earthspark, it's like, you know, it was, as I said, being able to voice Nightshade, I wish I had characters like Nightshade growing up. Not only just to hear a voice that I feel like sounded like mine, or to hear a story that I felt sounded like mine, but I guess to like be able to allow myself to really suspend disbelief for the first time. Because I was constantly, you know, I listened to voices and I was always like, I don't feel like or characters, I don't feel like I'm seeing myself in this. And so being able to be a character in this world where so much evolves, right? That's what I love about Earthspark in particular, is you get to see so many different kinds of people evolve. And especially being a person of color and seeing a mixed family in the show, it's like, the things that you all have come up to me and tell me that you identify with remind me of my own experience of where I'm going, you know, and in the world that we live in right now, being a queer artist and being an artist in general is a headache. But being a queer artist it presents its own set of challenges that I realize are making me more comfortable in my own skin, more loving of myself, and. I went to my first CFCon in Baltimore last fall, and I gotta tell you, there's nothing like this community in the world. It's really special. It really, really is special. And that you found community is so important.
Been going here since 2009.
Where?
I grew up with these people. They saw me grow up. So.
When I went to go see Transformers 1 with a group of friends, opening night, and when the movie was over, of course, they like stood up and made me like a whole thing in the movie theater, which was very sweet of them. But afterwards, this little girl came up to me and was like, "Can I get a picture with you?" And I was like, my first like Transformer like fan picture one night. You know what I mean? I was like so touched. I was like, "You won't want to take a picture of me?" But like, not to get like so morbid and like Debbie Downer, but it's like, you know, we're not gonna be here forever. So like any of this stuff, it's like we can't take it with us. So anything I get or you know earn in life, I just give it back to you guys. I think that's the best way to go about it. Like, this isn't mine, this is y'all's. I just happen to be the conduit for Jax. Yeah.
For me, I'm not, sometimes I get emotional. I'm just so, I am extremely appreciative that I get to be here and be included in the Transformers community. I absolutely love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey. Okay, so my question is, how does it feel to finally have a foothold in a franchise such as big as this?
I mean, feels great. What about like, oh, it's terrible? You know what I mean? Like, what about that? Oh man, Jesus. Yeah. Tomatoes.
The best feeling, like since Transformers Prime until today, it's like, wow, this franchise, it just means so much. I was talking to Frank during the convention, and we were all crying together, Frank and Suma.
and decades of history. But being in school where it's crazy, it's 22 years ago. It's been interesting to like watch it become a movie, watch it become a TV show, a Broadway show, exactly, all of it. And what parallels so beautifully to me is sort of, and what makes it exciting to be a part of Transformers, including the idea of community, is recognizing exactly what you said, like, we won't be here forever. Right, it's like the ability that we get to move forward, and that hopefully this voice will speak to my 9-month-old nephew when he's, 13, right? And I'm going to be able to have that experience. And that the voices that you hear in the 80s are still sitting at tables with us, It's great.
Thank you, and we welcome you to the community.
Hi. I'm Ryan. I guess you could probably guess where that's from. So my question is, because I've been a fan of Transformers for as long as I can remember. I grew up watching it with my mother, watching you. My question is, what is the most either funniest or heartwarming thing you've had, or like interaction with someone else on the team, while either in the booth or not in the booth, if you were like the only person in the booth? Yeah.
Were you guys recording it alone?
That was alone.
Yeah. Oh, I love
We're the only
I'm in a room where it happens, right?
Like, I don't want to flex too much, we're doing good. As you see, I'm pretty obnoxious and silly. So I think the first time I made Josh Cooley and the team laugh, when I was reporting for Jazz, it was the leg getting ripped off, and I was like, yeah, I got a good idea. Like, what? You know what I mean? Yeah, like freaked it, and like Josh wasn't expecting that, and then they all laughed and whatnot. I was like, yes. Put a little joy and a little smile on people's faces. So like that was a heartfelt moment that I always remember. Yeah, same. I always go with that. Always.
Oh gosh, there's a stand up behind my table today. I was in a section with Christy Reed, our director, and Christy is a phenomenal human being, and she was telling me, she's queer, she was telling me about her nieces. And I was talking about my niece at the time, and it was really beautiful to recognize that, like, as I was saying before, that the young people that are a part of our lives will be able to learn and grow from these characters on the most part, right? And I realized that, like, being able to share that with a colleague on the team was like, wow, it's a part of something that it's bigger than me. It's so much bigger than us. And it's what we share in this room, and I think it's memories, like even like behind the table when I'm at conventions, I get to talk to people, and it's game changing. It really changed my perspective.
Oh, don't cry. Do it.
My most heartwarming experience that I always carry into the day is that Optimus Prime, Megatron, and Starscream, Frank, Peter, and Steve, for 3 years recording Transformers Prime, the 2 to 6 one, they always come 15 to 20 minutes early, because I'm always early. And so the 4 of us always hang out for 20 minutes before the session and just talk about anything. And I always think, wow, this is Megatron talking. And I'm like, Starscream is also talking. And but it's just like, I said, wow, how amazing it is to be here with the legends, and they treat everyone the same, and it's so amazing. I hope one day you guys have the opportunity and meet you in the booth.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Hi. I was going to do the whole, it's so nice here, that's such a diverse casting, such a diverse range of characters, but there's about 4 people behind you said that.
You did it well, too.
I can't say. I have a question for the rest of you. Obviously, you got Universal Megatron, who's very famous for bullying. Is his guest. Which you've also been doing a good job of bullying. I've seen it in person. Yeah. off-the-cuff comment. So completely roast somebody and how you came up with that, and for the rest of the panel, what's your best off-the-cuff comment in character? Whoever made it to the show.
Okay, all right, it's on camera, so whatever. It's gonna happen. So this lady comes up to me, and I'm Megatron, I'm like, all right, anyway. She's like, hey Megatron, it's your birthday. And I'm like, how old are you turning? And she's like, 21. And without missing a beat, I go, time. Light a mirror. You can't light a mirror. I had to mute myself. I was dying. Oh, I had to laugh so hard. Oh God, good. She died laughing. She died laughing. Everyone thought it was on the floor. I was like, God, funny. Yeah. That was like top tier. I hope she sees this. Don't ever lie to me again. 21. Yeah.
And to mention, like that, obviously, I know a lot of like your mannerisms, your intonation, bell, it's like Night's character, and what you're acting now. So I'm just interested to see where all he needs is a book coming out of character.
Question being, how I...
How do you summon that character? What's going through your head?
It's like a technical level. They'll play my voice from the earlier episodes so I can get familiar with it again. Because sometimes I lose. I recognize like 80 differences, right? But like the different nuances, and I realize like when I watch the animated character, I'm like, wow, they really captured my life well. At least like with the voice work, right? I'm very much on top of my feet. Like I feel like so much of the effort is like me sweating and not empty. Like it's just I'm a very physical person. But not language. And I realized so much of that just like comes out in a character. And I guess I've learned to embrace that that's just my, I've learned how to make my weird my cool. And that's so Nightshade to me. Nightshade's so weird, and that's the highest compliment anyone can give them,
The question is kind of already asked, but what was the most fun you've had to do? Or like your favorite episode you've done, if it was like a fight scene, just the most fun you had recording something.
Ooh.
Be it like a blooper.
Ooh. Okay. We're trying to get related? Okay.
Something else in your mind.
I was going to say, for the movie, because I was doing a little scratch audio for the characters, so like, I laid down sort of the groundwork for the ending of the movie. So when the Megatron, Decepticons rise up, I like squelched that into the microphone, and it was just silence. And they're like, it's good. You can do it again? I was like, got one more. I wasn't going to lay down. Yeah. I got like lightheaded a little bit. Oh my God, yeah. But I like went for it, So that was like pretty solid day for me.
Megatron, Frank always does pranks, right, in the booth, because he can do all kinds of voices. And on our first day recording, me, Jack, and Raph, and Somali, RC, we've never done voiceover before with him. And the microphones have a lot of these cables and stuff, it's like together. And while we were all doing a serious scene, Frank made this lightning electrocuting sound that was so scary that all three of us here and Somali, we jumped up and ruined the day. And the voice engineer's like, guys, and because we thought we got electrocuted. All along it was Frank.
I would say the moment always sticks with me when I think about Nightshade and my experience in recording is the episode where I'm with character elements. Those of you going, first part. There's an episode where I rescue someone and we land on a roof. They have a pin that says she, they pronouns, and so we start talking about, they explaining to Nightshade what non-binary is, and they say, how safe they feel around other non-binary people. The world's a scary place, but that in my community. And there was a line at the end of that scene, and I said the line, I can't remember what I said. It's what a wonderful bird for a wonderful experience. And I had said in my callback, in my producer session, that they were asking me, okay, as an artist, as a non-binary person, like, what is it? What was your experience coming up? And I remember saying, it was like my conversation with them was that I had said, I never had a word for an experience that I always had. And that's what non-binary feels like. To sort of see that parallel on the right end, it feels very iconic. I'm very grateful for it.
I remember sharing that scene, the whole scene at Dragon Live, with your friends of mine who had never seen Transformers. They're not in the community whatsoever, and they also loved it. So much that they debated watching this part just because of that scene.
Hi, my name is Quinn. I'm super jazzed to be here. This is my first Transformers Comic-Con, and my family was very supportive of me coming here because they thought it would give me a reason to stop talking about Transformers. 2 or 3 months, I forced them to watch the Transformers 1 movie at least more than 3 times by now, and they're sick of it.
Awesome.
My question for today was, if you were to pick a Transformers character to be your favorite, like in the franchise, that wasn't the character that you played, who would you pick and why?
Oh, I'm gonna be so cliche.
Ready on the count of 3.
1, 2, 3.
Bumblebee. No matter what show you're watching, Bumblebee to me is just like this pinball machine. This energy that is that's so electric, right? And it's like a rolling line. Yeah. Oh, wait, what did you say?
Your word is that. Well, I was gonna say Starscream, but then I was like, oh, did you? I love Starscream, guys. I mean, I should not say role model because of what he wants, but he's so fun, right?
Yeah. Mine was Optimus Prime, the OG, the leader of the whole list. So I would lead us all.
So I'm the only one who wants to be a Decepticon?
Yep. Just you.
Rise up!
All right.
Welcome, and where's your family?
There. Thank you for your time.
Oh my God, thank you.
Hello, Dino.
My name is Hamza, and I am absolutely jazzed Rico the Nightshade to be here today. I wanted to give a personalized thank you and shout out to all of you, especially to Evan and Tanya for making me feel comfortable when I came up to visit them.
Hamza and your best friend David.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest, I had at least 3 mini heart attacks before I went up to you guys. No, because I went up to my friend, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I can do this. So.
Here, here's the thing, I'm like, you need a different way.
As an aspiring voice actor myself, what is what can you give me to expect some obstacles to be in it when I ever put myself out there?
Ooh. We all are I hear my voice sometimes, and I'm like, I hate the sound of my voice. What I have to recognize is like, it's just, I gotta let myself play.
That's what it is.
Because, and what I hear is not what I might be hearing when it's on TV, and I'm like, oh my god, that sounds so cool. Like, let yourself be surprised by your sound, and like, even if it feels, or you're judging that sound, let it come out. Because you never know what's going to be on the end.
And I don't know if it's necessarily an outcry, but my advice would be to take an improv class. And I think they can test this. More often than not, when you're in a session, they'll throw you something.
Yeah.
You know, they have a script and whatnot, but like sometimes they have like an idea on the fly. They're like, can you do like a whatever? And that improv training comes in handy when they, they throw you something.
Especially in the producer section, because they want to see different ways that you can play.
Exactly. That would be my opinion.
I think the only obstacle, to me, the obstacle would be not trusting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So always trust yourself and listen to your heart.
Oh.
Love it.
Love you, Hamza.
I love all of you. Also, Nightshade. Don't let nobody tell you different. You're amazing.
I just totally overly loves themselves. Am I crazy?
Hi! First of all, I want to say this is also, first of all, my first convention. This voice acting is something I actually enjoy. So it's going to be so weird rewatching them and be like, I'm talking to these guys. I saw them for the live setup. I had like 7 million questions in my head. I had to like pick one for going here. And the one I picked is, if you could voice another Transformers character, like aside from the ones you've already done, which one would it be?
3.
I mean, I couldn't do it, but I want to be Megatron.
You can do whatever you want, girl.
Yeah.
God.
Exactly. Listen to your heart. It's a coin toss between Optimus and Megatron. Because I heard it in the park. It's like, one of those I'd be satisfied with.
It's definitely either the blue one or RC. Some people have a little cunning, you know? We all got a spectrum. Hey.
Really good.
Oh.
Thank you.
Question.
Good job.
I watched all 3 of the things already too. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I enjoyed being here. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to Decepticon.
First of all, thank you guys for coming to Mississauga. Of all places, I swear Canada gets better. Also, all 3 of you have like such a welcoming kind of energy, and that's and you're in a comment because of course I have 3 comments. As a non-binary person myself, it is so awesome to see Nightshade, and you played, especially like a non-binary person. Like you said, I wish I had someone like that when I was a kid. Would have made figuring myself out so much easier. Anyway, my question. Okay, what was my question?
Why are you perfect?
Yeah. Born this way, woke up this way. Yeah, well, I'm just saying, thank you for sharing that and sharing your experience and how you identify with your, because I realize there's something for everyone in Nigeria. I think that's what's really cool, but for us to be able to see ourselves.
Okay, so before all you guys like got your roles in the different Transformers things you've been in, what did you know about like the long and complicated legacy of Transformers? And what do you know now? Have you got more updated information?
Yes, and? Well, because I was introduced to the live action movies. That was my first introduction to Transformers. What's his name? Exactly. I'm not even that's just a line of women. What's his name? Shia LaBeouf, sorry. And Megan Fox. I had such a crush on her. It was just I wanted to be her. Yeah, that was my introduction to Transformers, and then realizing, honestly, getting into this community has taught me so much more about not just the lore, but like what Spark really means. You know, but there's one love, right? It's really special.
How about
I grew up watching the original. I wasn't like hardcore into it, but like I knew enough about it. And then as of being part of the movie and the recommendation of all of you, I started reading the Skybound comics. Yeah. Not well. I was like, oh, this is Transformers?
Transformers didn't come to Indonesia until the year 2000. So when I came here to audition, I had to study, and I think I studied for 3 whole months. Like, who is this person? And so I may be more of a fan than you guys are.
Thank you guys so much. You guys are also wonderful.
Can we do a quick one?
We have time for one more question.
Or like quick.
But
Hi,
they will be here.
Grace. This is also my first convention. Alright, my question was, what would you say was like your favorite fan interaction?
Besides right now? Guys, I love all the...
I know, it sounds so cheesy. I don't know if I can pick one.
Yeah. You guys all have stories, and just the fact that you come up and say hello, it really means a lot to all of us, I'm sure.
Seriously, when I meet these things, I talk about you guys to like anyone who will listen. I'm like, wow, you're so nice. Everyone is so welcoming, so nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so conceited to say it was the time that I saw a fan dressed as Nightshade.
You guys are really amazing. I already tried 3 times today, and I love hugging people.
And final thing, I would actually like to hear your Decepticon rise up. You might want to back away from the mic.
Decepticons! Rise up!
All right, so by special request, Tanya has asked to get a picture with all of us. Now, would you like to run up here and I can go on the stage and get a picture?
Yeah.
Let's show them our TFI energy, guys. Okay. Let's first do a selfie. Okay.
Oh.
Sorry. Why don't you get it? Yeah, you guys get down and I'll get up.
I recorded the whole thing. Yes, I saw. Alright, let's go. Oh, everyone. Can I put on the stage? Okay, fine, you can have it this time. You go.
All right, picture in 3, 2, 1, rise up. All right, one more big blast of energy, guys. 3, 2, 1. Excellent, great job. Thank you so much for our guests. Thank you, thanks guys.
Okay, so she's with the front of the line, so we're just gonna hang out here There's you know, take a picture. And then there's another panel next hour. This is the costume showcase, so that's what's gonna be costume. So we'll just hang out here until
Hey, take the picture.
On the watch everything? You want to go? I guess. You want to finish the car like that? This? Yeah. I don't want the gear. Oh, are you let's finish up with the back in time. Yeah. Is this supposed to be a list? Yeah, sure. Go ahead, sorry. Sure today.
Have this in the aisle. So I'll have to get you to bring that into the seating.
Okay. I already know this is gonna happen, so. The one shirt, it's up with it. Still, this is like, and it's probably get tomorrow. I'm just like, so, right, it's very nice special. Oh, my smudged a bit. Alright, so that's the thing, okay? I don't know how the, oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to close the this shirt, area. Okay. That's not picture for this, so. Alright, so last picture is thank you.
costume.
Sounds good, I can do that.
We gotta keep everything. Any bags, we need to make sure this aisle is clear. We are gonna have costumes, definitely coming down. We wanna make sure that there's no trips or like.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sound is feeling
So yeah, this is going to be side-bound sound. We're going to wait for it to be on. You know, actually watching this, how many of you guys are here that year we had that world? We had a, for those of you who don't know, we had a world that was actually on like a silk structure, so they were digital, and like they were, their knees were all bent, and like they could not get through the door. It was amazing. Like I don't think you made it through, but if any of you like looked at the world cosplay with the kids on, oh, that was an amazing cosplay. Now we ready? All right, guys, round of applause. We have me, green construction machine. We have the long wall. All right, we gotta get shot of him. Oh yeah, one more thing to say. Remove, always remove. I didn't join this outfit in a talk shop. All right, round of applause for our long haul. All right, and again, guys, you can see the back aisle here in the center aisle. We're going to be having the costume contest, well, the cosplayers coming down the center aisle now. So I need everybody who is in an aisle to find a seat so we can get started. And people who are in the back, please clear through. You can go off to the right side if you need to. I'm just waiting for a signal that we can get going. All right, and this is going to be a fun part. 3, 2, 1. We have Galen as Amazon Prime.
Okay, is this better? Hi everyone. My name is Jalen and I'm cosplaying as my own character, Amazon Prime. By the way, I came straight from the sorry, I forgot my lines. I came straight from the warehouse with same-day delivery. And I just want to say Jeff Bezos is not my I'm not Jeff Bezos' bodyguard. Also, I want to give a big thanks to my mom for making the costume. So, thanks everybody, and have a great TFCon.
And now coming down, we have TF1 Iolita. Guys in the aisle, just kind of hurry. Hi. Having a good con? Awesome. Anything you want to say? Oh, okay. Something got really awkward, doesn't it? Have a good con. And now we have Alana as RC from Transformers Prime. excited.
Very nice. Back.
Hello, everyone. My name. My name is Olivia. And my character, I call her from Lighthouse and I can transform from a spider to a helicopter. After I talk to a spider, really quick.
And now, from her garage to the tee up on stage, please welcome an all-original Transformer fan character, Vaporwave. Very happy to be here, guys. Very happy to be here. Just want to stay in the line. Bye, Vaporwave. Bye. All right, and that concludes the ribbed portion of the costume showcase. We are moving on now to the human formers. Are we good to go? All right. And 3, 2, 1. Starting it off, we have Elton as Soundwave Superior Autobus. And following that up, we have Dukes as TFA Bulkhead. Also very happy to be here. And Torrance as Shockwave.
love the wings from Kanye. They're very reflective, I noticed. And now we've got Abby as Rewind. Soundwave and Ravage. Now say it with me, guys, if you know the quote. Soundwave. Oh, and yeah, there's a bird. We have Shed as Cosmos. Very shiny. Knockout from Transformers Prime. Now coming down to another Shockwave. Pass punch. Then we've got Rodimus. Oh no, he's got dangerous.
Love that shirt.
Got Dave as Nico. Yours doesn't go anywhere without her camera. Yes. Hey, Nico! What's the record code? Breakers? Oh, we don't call for backup. We call for cleanup. Oh, that was weak. We don't call for backup. We call for cleanup. That's better. Now we've got Amber as Ratchet. And now we have the Seeker trio as Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker. Oh, for a second there, I actually didn't see Starscream. I'm sorry, I'm looking here going, did I miss? There was a trio. They say Starscream's a leader. We've got Corbin as Rodimus. And now we've got tailgate times 3, which we are calling the 3 gates. See, I can see all 3 of these. I don't know why I put that with these stars.
Yeah.
Alright, another round you have. We go from 3 to 2. We have 2 rounds. We have Cindy and Verity. Hyper Agent Flip Jumper.
That's cool. That's creative. I love it.
I was just very confused. I was very confused. I couldn't tell if I was like being invited to a duel. How did this work? No, I didn't swerve. I didn't swerve you. But you know what? We got a hollow form swerve. Come on down, swerve. Are you going to challenge me to a duel too? Take a moment of silence for our precious work. They rested in one piece, so it looks like one piece to me. Transformers Prime, Optimus Prime. Woo!
Totally non-lightsaber.
All right, we got? All right, we're done? We got two? Who's the next one? Oh, no. Who else is there? No. Oh. Just so everybody knows, Swizzle might be on vacation, but he never takes a vacation back to Wallace.
Sell my soul! Sell my soul!
No. That one auctioned me off. I see you watching me. I'm not giving this money back either, just so you're aware. No. All right, guys, and now we have one more swerve. Come on down. Are you all for freedom too? You realize that there's another swerve here. Hold on. Free drink swerve, pay your own tab swerve. Ladies and gentlemen, free drink swerve, yes? Yeah, that's free drinks. I just got it. And we there you go. Free drinks. All right, do we have anybody else? All right. So with that concludes the costume showcase, and I do have a couple things to say to all of you. One, watch your wallet, because swindle. That's a dire warning. And two, make sure you guys stay, safe and good to each other. As we all know, time is really short, and we are a family here at Jamacon. Every one of you that comes here, or a new face, you are part of the Jamacon family, and we care about all of you. Every single one of you matters, and you come here that is our responsibility. And we want to make sure you guys are having a good time and that you are safe. Be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves, and love each other. Have a great day.
Before we go up to the room, I want to ask you about the picture with
What they really need to do is dehumidify.
Nope. Because at the end of chapter 4, it says chapter 5 comes to. Yep. Excited.
Including an entire building, was the AC. Well, so yeah, the hotel just has to like step in. Yeah. You want yeah, yeah. So you're not dropping all the money at once.
If you want to choose
Okay.
yeah,
Exactly, that's not your
yeah, that's right behind mine. Hi.
Oh. work in education. I work for,
Like technically, like I'm an actual design that.
all those students get jobs.
And I do
But
have
there's still are people that are like people that are still going to college. Coming back to the grades later on.
He designed here. Like our characters in school, the artist, designer, and like the voice actor. But I don't know if like that's
So we the beta two part like I do like here where everything off the beta part, and then it's probably more hands-on, university theoretical. However, they back in the day, local university whatever. So now it's actually the skilled students that are getting higher academic grades but there's still that stigma. So all these programs are cheaper, students get jobs, they're often paid for by the employer. But you look at students that want to do with prestigious schools, psychology. Yeah,
but they put them like that.
And that's what a lot of students do. Some things like you got to move back to the university, pay us more money so that you can do the job that we do. But they never tell you what job our bills. Yeah. So, yeah. Good money. Yeah. And that's the thing in Ontario. There's still a lot of creative guys that really are picking up the golden division. Like a sheet metal worker, average age 65, average age. But none of all the other students are like, they want to do psychology, sociology, sure those might have some jobs. The Q&A, yes, but it's not going to be buying anything to $200. That's our free cost. Everyone, yeah, it's the cost of 6 minutes early. So just grab your seat. After 8 o'clock, our guests will come in. So, Dr. Robinson, Neil, right away online. Yeah.
Maybe not. I'll join it.
I don't know 100%.
Yeah, you just upstairs.
I feel like it's coming back now. I don't think either of you is here. And Ryan, I know the guy. No, he only gets 2 weeks. His auto shop is pretty tight. They're just staff to work all the time. Is that what interview our place? Yeah, so we don't really do that. It's just we use that for audio. We got normally we allow that. Because if we allow someone to do it, then everyone's going to want their own. Yeah.